Single parents? What's your best, worst dating story? After my divorce, I avoided dating for 2 years. My daughter was only 5. Most guys ran when they heard I had a kid. The few who didn't usually wanted to play stepdad immediately, which freaked me out. My friend finally convinced me to try online dating. Just coffee dates, she said. What's the worst that could happen? You meet someone boring and waste an hour. I matched with David after a week of swiping through profiles. He seemed completely normal, good job at some tech company, had his life together, said he loved kids, but didn't have any yet. We texted back and forth for days before planning to meet at the Starbucks on 5th Street Saturday morning at 10. I'm waiting in line, checking my phone for his arrival text when I hear my daughter's voice behind me. Mommy! I turn around totally confused. My daughter's supposed to be at her dad's house this entire weekend for his custody time, but there she is, running toward me in her little pink sneakers with my ex-husband Mike trailing behind, looking embarrassed and slightly out of breath. Sorry, Mike says sheepishly. She forgot her inhaler, and you know how her asthma gets when the weather changes. Had to swing by your place to grab it from her bedroom. As I'm kneeling down to hug her and make sure she has her inhaler, this guy approaches our little family huddle. Sarah? He asks hesitantly, looking between all of us. I look up. It's David, my date. Right on time, just like we planned. But he's not looking at me anymore. He's staring at my ex-husband with this really weird expression, like he's just seen a ghost. Mike? David says, his voice getting noticeably higher and more strained. I'm standing there like a complete idiot as my online date and my ex-husband stare at each other in obvious recognition. Turns out they work at the exact same company downtown. Different departments. Mike's in accounting, David's in IT support. But they've been sitting in the same monthly budget meetings together for the past 8 months. David knew Mike had an ex-wife named Sarah who lived across town with their daughter. Mike knew David was recently single and had started dating someone named Sarah from a dating app. Neither of them ever bothered to connect the obvious dots. The coffee date became the most awkward hour of my entire adult life. David kept glancing over at Mike, who was clearly uncomfortable and kept checking his watch. And my daughter was confused why mommy's new friend seemed to know daddy so well. After Mike finally left with her, David got really quiet and weird. Then he said something that made my stomach drop. This is really strange, but does Mike actually know you're actively dating other people right now? Of course he does, I said, starting to feel defensive. We're divorced, not dead. We talk about this stuff, but something felt really off about his reaction. David seemed almost disappointed, like he'd been secretly hoping for drama. 2 days later, Mike calls me with this serious tone I hadn't heard since our custody discussions. Sarah, we really need to talk about this David guy. Apparently, ever since our coffee shop encounter, David had been cornering Mike at work and asking invasive questions about me. Not normal small talk either. Really weird personal stuff about our marriage, why we got divorced, whether I was emotionally stable as a mother, if I had money problems. Mike was genuinely freaked out. This guy's been systematically pumping me for detailed information about you for weeks, Sarah. Way before you two supposedly matched. I felt physically sick. I went back and examined David's dating profile with fresh eyes. In the background of one picture, at what looked like a company party, I could clearly see part of Mike's company logo on a banner. David hadn't randomly matched with me at all. He'd been watching me, learning everything about my life through my ex-husband, then crafted the perfect online profile specifically designed to appeal to me. I blocked him immediately on everything, but the story gets so much worse. Last week, my daughter's teacher called me at work. A man matching David's exact description had been hanging around during school pickup time, asking detailed questions about my daughter and claiming to be a family friend who might start picking her up sometimes. I filed a police report that same afternoon. Turns out I'm not his first victim. He has a documented pattern of targeting recently divorced mothers. Mike and I are actually closer now than we've been since our divorce 3 years ago. Nothing romantic, but we're finally co-parenting like a real team for the first time. David thought he was manipulating and dividing us. Instead, he accidentally brought our family back together and fixed our broken communication. The police investigation is still ongoing. I'm completely done with dating apps forever, but our daughter finally has both parents working together again, which is honestly worth more than any romantic relationship I might have found.